Really is a beautiful sight that we have right here. It looks like this convoy is at least hundreds of vehicles strong and should be descending on the capital tomorrow when hopefully they're treated a little bit better than the Freedom Convoy organizers are. Multiple truck convoys converge in Indiana for large rally en route to D.C. The American people are waking up and they're marching east. Oh my God. Several trucker convoys comprising thousands of vehicles converged in Mirovia, Indiana. Small town Indiana, sure. And held a rally late on Wednesday before continuing their trip towards Washington to protest against the COOF restrictions and mandates. And you know what? Try to convince some people in the House, because yesterday or late Wednesday, something like that, the Senate passed a resolution to get out of this fucking stupid ass pandemic. It's like, listen, everything's all fucking done and dusted. You can't point to any more variants to really, fearmonger among the populace. So can we just get on with our lives? No, it was big scary. So that's what they're going to be down there and try to convince, some of their elected officials, the people. Oh, we represent the people and we take our job very serious in these hallowed halls and whatever other fucking religious allegories you can draw. The People's Convoy set off from California on February 23rd. It passed through multiple states, including Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, before arriving in Indiana. The convoy has 2 more stops to go, Ohio and Maryland, before Washington. They hope to arrive around March 5th. Yeah, everything was supposed to happen on the Saturday, so should still be on target. But this article here, it's a day or 2 old or something like that. Oh yeah, it was just from yesterday. But it has nice pictures, so we're going to see some of them. The group was inspired by truckers' convoy in Canada that made global news headlines protesting against restrictions. And they were all Nazis and white supremacists, and the honking just won't stop. Fuck off. It's hard to quantify exactly how many people are directly participating in the People's Convoy, not to mention the many thousands more who gathered along the roads and the overpasses across the country to cheer them up. You love to see it. You like to see the slightly attractive woman in the camo pants, and not the one with the fucking bunched ass there in the jeans. Nice squatty broad, probably well versed to a sleeper cab or two. And then that's an impressive sight. You love to see it. You've seen that all across Canada when the convoy was making the trek across the nation. But now it's breaking out there. Huge crowd. And what is this? Missouri. Different shot, same crowd. Really great. That's cute. The dog has his own sunglasses. Vehicles and trucks have also joined the convoy along the way. Some are headed towards Washington, while others join for journeys for dozens to hundreds of miles before dropping away. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of cars and trucks have come from behind and in front of the convoy and have honked in support. No honking! Honking bad! They have often been mistaken as being direct participants in the group. The convoy says it's about 80 trucks and more than 200 other vehicles have passed through Cuba. Wait, what? Missouri, sorry. It's like, I don't see any floaters on any of these trucks, so I could be mistaken. By Tuesday and Wednesday in Monrovia, Indiana, where other U.S. truck convoys converged, there were over 2,000 vehicles with over 100 trucks in the area. It is unclear how many vehicles will ultimately be riding to the nation's capital. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita and Mark McCloskey, who is running as a Republican in the Missouri Senate race. You remember Mark McCloskey? He was the one with the assault rifle, the AR-15, whatever it was, in his front yard, okay? And then you can see in the picture down there, because there's Mark right there, and changes hair color, or he's just not wearing his glasses. I can't quite remember. And he's not wearing his pink polo. But there's his lovely wife standing behind him. And they're currently suing, I think, the Missouri Attorney General's office to get their firearms back. It's very interesting, and their legal battles are insane in and of themselves, because they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't violate Castle Doctrine, but thanks to political prosecutions during the Summer of Love, if your skin tone wasn't on the swatch, you were getting charged with crimes. Or if you didn't have the proper amount of black masking and enough firebombs in your right hand, oh yeah, you were getting charged with everything that they could throw at you. I'm very proud to be here amongst fellow Hoosiers and Americans who care about their country, Rokita told the Times. I was humbled to offer them encouragement this evening, but they gave me back much more inspiration and motivation. This is something different than what Freedom Convoy up north ended up getting. we've got one actual elected official, an attorney general, coming down to the actual rally. Okay, you've got candidates coming out as well, like active candidates, not people, oh, I ran for the PPC and I'm still here because I actually like freedom. Not disparaging any of them, but it's just actual fucking elected officials and people actually seeking elected office coming out and showing their fucking support. Something that the Freedom Convoy never had. There was a lot of lip service paid from behind the fence, but nobody actually went out and nobody actually spoke with any of the truckers, any of the participants in the convoy. It still makes me fucking sick to my stomach. McCloskey, a Missouri-based lawyer, made national headlines in 2020 for the reasons already described. I can tell you one thing. You look at this crowd, you look at the highways coming here, you look at the overpasses, and you can say that the socialists will never complete their takeover of the United States. Okay, cool it with the fucking establishment nonsense. We get it. Crowd exceeded the capacity of the indoor venue, which held several hundred people. Hundreds more are gathered outside. The American people are waking up and they're marching east. Brian Brace, one of the convoy organizers, told the Epoch Times late Wednesday. And again, I don't think this guy's like a community organizer or anything. I just imagine he's probably a trucker, seen what was happening up north and figured, hey, fuck, I can probably do something too, because these mandates, okay, these cross-border mandates affect me too, okay? And it's time that we move on from this fucking nonsense. And what's the best thing we can do? Well, have our voices heard at the Capitol. Here's hoping you just get treated better than the organizers from up north, because you got Tamara Lich here, okay? She was one of the central figures. She was one of the 3 or 4 founding members of the Freedom Convoy. She is still in jail, okay? Just about a month after the Emergency Act was invoked. She is still being held without bail because, well, the judge may or may not be a Liberal Party operative. I say not with, a significant amount of sarcasm. Tamara Lich, one of the most prominent organizers of the Ottawa Convoy that gridlocked the city streets for over 3 weeks, says the judge who denied her bail was biased because her cause and has asked the court to review the decision. I have a biased judge, so we're just going to kick this case up to another biased judge who's just going to give you the same biased take on things. You're a terrorist and a murderer. You need to go ahead and be locked away for life, because I can still hear the honking. Lich was arrested February 17th. It is March 4th, still being held without bail on mischief charges and charged with counseling mischief. Not even actual mischief charges. Counseling mischief. You could have done something with mischief, okay? You were encouraging it. We're sure of it. The day before, police moved in to disperse crowds in downtown Ottawa before invoking powers under Federal Emergencies Act. So they didn't even have the power to hold her, and yet they're treating her like the terrorist that everybody who ran afoul of the Emergencies Act was. Yup. This is modern Canada. Even after the Emergencies Act was revoked after, 2 days of being implemented, and then finally Trudeau got his reviews in. It's like, oh, maybe this was a bad idea, and we accomplished everything that we needed to, but we made it look like an emergency, and then people just remembered that I invoked the Emergencies Act, and then they'll just act accordingly. And I set the president, and I got the vote for it, but we didn't get it in the Senate because he never got that far anyways. Ontario Court Justice Julie Bourgeoisie. How appropriate, once again, denied Lich bail on February 22nd, having deemed the convoy organizer a risk to reoffend. You might organize another convoy. What? Because this is supposed to be in the context of she has a high propensity of committing counseling mischief again. What? You might say mean things on Twitter, and that's not good. In her decision at the time, Bourgeoisie said she felt Lich was obstinate and disingenuous in her response in court. She's a judge and a mind reader, and her detention was necessary for the protection and safety of the public. In court Wednesday, so a little over a week later, Lich's lawyer filed an affidavit on her behalf that she had known Bourgeoisie was a Liberal candidate in the 2011 federal election. Oh, okay. She would have asked the justice to recuse herself from the case. Oh, you could ask, but just be like, no. But yeah, you file this for grounds of appeal, honestly. I had that information beforehand, I would have felt uncomfortable with the situation. If I had. There you go. Lich told the court Wednesday she spent a majority of the hearing sitting up straight and in the accused dock with her hands folded in her lap, her blonde hair in a high bun and a mask over her face. Yeah, because she's being held without bail, so you're told what you have to wear and how you have to wear it. While protests in downtown Ottawa were mainly aimed at COVID restrictions and vaccine mandates, demonstrators took aim at Justin Trudeau and his Liberal Party with profane flags and slogans like "fuck Trudeau." Oh my god, that freedom of speech, it's so dangerous. While protesters in downtown Ottawa were mainly peaceful, they could once again reoffend with more mischief. Cool. Lich's lawyer, Diane Magus, also argued that bourgeoisie repeatedly referred to the impact of the protest on our community. Okay, in her decision to keep Lich in jail. You know, our community, the nation's capital. If a justice feels impacted in our community, in her community, in my submission, she should not sit. That should be out of town judge. Yeah, pretty much. Sounds like a conflict of interest. Fellow protest organizer Chris Barber, who traveled by convoy from Alberta to Ottawa with Lich, was arrested the same day as her and charged with mischief, counseling to commit mischief, to disobey and a court order, and to obstruct police. Very serious crimes. They're basically Nazis. He was granted bail on February 18th. Okay, he's also an organizer. He had more charges against him, but he was granted bail. He's still... What? Oh my fuck. By the same justice who initially ordered Lich remain in custody. What? Crown Counsellor Mose Carmige... Whatever. True-blooded Canadian. Said the allegation against bourgeoisie is frivolous and suggested that Lich lied when she said she would have asked for another judge. Ran as a Liberal candidate. It was the Liberal Party that invoked the Emergencies Act, and then they were also the ones that were out there saying everybody, these is a fringe minority of people with unacceptable views. I'm just saying, would have ran as a Liberal Party or anybody else who, by proxy, NDP, the Green Party, would have ran as a candidate for that party who supported the Liberal mantra on that, you'd probably ask for a recusal on that. But again, all of these mind readers on the Court of Queen's Bench, this is fucking incredible. Really? When the day before the judge released our friend Mr. Barber? Carmige asked the court. That allegation has no merit whatsoever, and the indication that Ms. Lynch is capable of lying under oath. We'll charge her with perjury then, stupid. Wednesday's bail review hearing was delayed slightly as hundreds of spectators attempted to log onto the video conference carrying the proceedings and flooded the chat with messages of support. Oh, for the Liberal, for the candidate, I'm sure. Lich has been described as the public face of the protest. Ben Dichter, he was the guy who was actually out there giving most of the interviews, the ones that I seen. All I seen was Lich just kind of in the background of the big group addresses that they were giving just about nightly, but okay, cool. What do I know? I was just watching all the stuff. Oh, one of the lawyers assisting in the demonstration called Lich the spark that lit this fire and the leader of this organization. That's what you would say. Lich led the GoFundMe campaign alongside Dichter as well. All you have to do is just go back and take a look at any of the time that I pulled up any of the campaigns themselves, and you've seen that her name and Dichter's was there as well. It raised more than $10 million for the so-called Freedom Convoy protest, but we know they were just going to pocket that money anyways. But you don't mention the Give, Send, Go, which was also illegally seized anyways, but whatever. Oh my god, we can continue to go down this fucking liberal fucking sinkhole, but I think we've established that Canada is a absolute failure of a country from its legal perspective, and I had a lot of patriotism flowing through my veins from the, end of January through about first couple of weeks of February, but oh god, that's all gone. Fuck this place, it's a shithole. Toronto's to blame for all of it. That's who elected the Liberal Party. You want a specific example of what happens when you just let a couple of highly densely populated cities run your country? Just take a look at Canada. Oh, Canada voted for Trudeau, that's what you get. Take a look at the fucking election map. Nobody likes this cunt, but he's in fucking Parliament being the little dictator that he was sired to be. Congratulations. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you fly your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.